Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Want to flip over to the defensive side of the football for today's video. Been a while since we've done a Pittsburgh Steelers defensive breakdown. Want to talk about DeMarvin Leal in terms of year two guys to focus rightfully on Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, etc. But DeMarvin Leal, what's his role? Talked about that so much this offseason. I really wanted to look at his rookie year. There were ups, there were downs, a lot of movement with him, obviously, but I want to look at his pass rush plan on third down. So what I did for this video was chart all of the third and fourth down rushes that he had last year. Granted, it's a smaller sample size, but I wanted to really get the focus in on plays where he essentially knew there was going to be a pass and really could focus in on that and less so on your run pass keys and what's play action and all that kind of stuff. So I am down for 21 rushes on third and fourth down last year. I'll put up some of the stats on screen. On 10 of those 21 rushes, he used the bull rush, and he went 0 for 10. And I say that in terms of number of successful rushes versus number of unsuccessful rushes. But bull rush, by far his most popular, had 2 swims, both unsuccessful, a cross chop, unsuccessful, a rip, unsuccessful, a swipe, unsuccessful. Had 5 stunts, which none of them got him free. You can call those losses, but they're not necessarily designed for him to win, but had 5 of those. That was the second most often behind Bull. And then 1 was sort of a play action or rollout where they really can't count what that move was. And so I'm sort of disregarding that. But those are the stats. Not 1 successful rush overall for a really athletic, toolsy guy. Did a preseason video showing all the tools and ways that he could rush and win in the preseason, and that did not translate into regular season action. And that really surprised me. So I'll talk about that more as we go through the video, but let's actually talk to the tape on a couple of these examples. All right, we're going to start here in Week 5 against Buffalo. Here is Leal, number 98, aligned as the right outside linebacker on this play over left tackle. You're going to see a swim move. Most of these were bull rushes, but we're going to watch the swim here. And this is one that he could have won. It's a good initial rush here against the left tackle. He's able to kind of punch the inside and get that tackle to open up his hips a little bit so he can beat him to the inside right there, kind of pulling and pushing that left tackle. I think the issue here is that Leal was just a little too slow to really finish this move off and work that outside arm over the top on the swim. It allowed the left tackle to reset. And I understand I'll let the whole thing run through that this ball's out. Leal, even if it's a perfect rush, he's not going to get to the quarterback. That's not the focus here. I'm just watching Leal rush and kind of go through his pass rush plan and execution of that plan. It's a good plan here, but I think he was a little bit slow to finish that and kind of get that outside arm over to clear the tackle, allowed that tackle to reset, stay square, and get back in front of him. Just want to see these moves be strung a little bit quicker. We're going to jump into the second half of the season because it is important to remember that Leal missed the middle half of the year with a knee injury. He had a meniscus tear that needed some surgery, I believe, at least landed him on injured reserve. So he came back later in the year. Here is against Atlanta. He's going to rush the B gap between right guard and right tackle. Tries to cross chop, and I don't like to cross chop in general, especially for defensive linemen. I just think leaving your feet, and I just have not found many players in Pittsburgh's roster. Even TJ Watt does not seem to have much success with the cross chop. But I think here is even a worse time to use it because what are you trying to accomplish? You have to understand what the tackle set is, what the alignment is on this play. You have this overload look here with Hayward aligned front side, Leal kind of over tackle here, and Watt aligned wide outside the tight end. Watt drops on this play. So you have to understand this tackle, of course, is keying Watt as he drops. You're thinking about maybe some sort of blitz or some sort of stunt to the inside. So this tackle is going to come down, and Leal tries to cross chop in the B gap here. If you're going to cross chop, it's got to be a cleaner 1v1 situation. He just kind of jumps his way into both these guys. And I know the corner was coming off the edge here, so Leal might be thinking the tackle was going to stay wide and get him. But probably initially, as he sees Watt drop, the tackle's not going to be setting too wide. So, again, I don't like to cross chop too much in general. Loudermilk did it a ton. Not as much last year. I think more his rookie year in training camp. He kind of got away from that. But Again, the pass rush plan of why use a cross chop in this situation, just don't think it was the right time to use it, and certainly did not work out. We'll jump to the Baltimore game, and as I mentioned, the most often move that Leal used was the bull rush almost half the time, and it was just not successful with him. And I understand you're not going to win, 80% of the time as a pass rusher, obviously, but I just didn't see a lot of power on Leal's rush. Here he is right here going over the left guard and just not really able to push this pocket. This left guard's able to stall him out pretty well. The pocket kind of in general collapses late, but I don't think Leal really impacted it too much. So you see Leal here try this kind of stutter, but it probably better to look at it from the aerial view, just trying to see this lower half, because on a bull rush, your power is coming from your hands, but it's really generated from the ground up, off your feet, through your hips, and then with a power that's created in your hands on your punch there. And you really just don't see Leal ever put that foot in the ground and really, drive to create that explosion, create that power that's going to have that violence in your hands. You think about James Harrison, I know a different body type, but that speed bull rush that he had, third step, fifth step on the outside, you plant that foot in the ground, and then you bull rush into the tackle. That's when you make contact. Your hands and feet really have to be coordinated. You really don't see that here. You're just kind of seeing this guy stutter step and not really put that, I would say, the outside foot in the ground, and then, right into the chest of the lineman that's going to generate that power. And that's just not a good coordinated rush that does not make that bull rush effective. We're going to go to the final play of the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive 2022 season. Another bull rush from DeMarvin Leal, this time aligned over right guard, and just kind of similar commentary as the last clip. Just not much power here, and you see this right guard able to anchor and sit, and Leal's really not able to create any sort of movement. Now, that's Wyatt Teller. He's a really good right guard. I understand the matchup here, but just watching the feet of Leal, you get a really good view of it here because the camera's angled the right way, and you just never really see him put that foot in the ground. I think he's a little too tall. He's kind of tall. He's kind of on his toes. He's just not going to create power that way, and I understand, again, you're not going to be putting these guys off their feet, especially a guard as good as Teller, and constantly the way that Cam Hayward does. I'm not trying to have unrealistic expectations, but I think the rush here is just not that coordinated. Now the guard falls, and Leal's got good effort, and he's a good athlete, but just not seeing the power. The placement of the hands look okay. I think that looks fine. He's trying to get these hands chopped down. The right guard's doing to Leal here, but I think he's just too tall overall, and just does not create that power. Last example, also from the Browns game. I wasn't entirely sure how to chart this. I was debating between a swim and a cross chop, and I put it as a swim ultimately because I don't really see the cross chop action here with the other hand. But, you see this rush here over right guard, and I think, assuming this is a swim, it's just done too early, and there's really nothing that Leal is, hitting here. And he's trying to get the edge, and I think he's probably a little too early with this move and kind of wins it a little bit late, but by that point, the ball is certainly going to be out. You're not going to really get to the quarterback, barring some sort of scramble situation. So never able to chop this outside hand down of the guard. I think the swim was a bit too early, trying to get over the top or chop that at the elbow, whatever his aiming point here was, and you see Teller just be able to control, lock him out, and take him for a ride. Spins off late, balls out. It's a completion to Njoku. So, what I saw overall, I was encouraged in the preseason because I did a video, all these tools that Leal had, the spin, I think he did show the cross chop, the swim, rip. I don't know how much of the bull that he did or did effectively. I'm sure he used it, but you saw a lot of tools in the tool belt. The dude's a crazy athlete. He was in high school. There's clips out there of him doing backflips. I mean, he's a really athletic guy, and frankly, we're not even seeing a lot of rushes at outside linebacker. I think the one against Buffalo we showed was him at right outside linebacker, but most of the rushes, and I didn't show all of them obviously, came more interior, kind of a bit more where we expect Leal to play. So I wouldn't even say that, he was unnatural on the outside, and that's the reason why he struggled. And frankly, he was a tweener who played on the edge quite a bit at Texas A&M. Now, there's a million factors. I think Leal had a tough rookie year in terms of getting moved around, dropping his weight, changing his weight, had a knee injury, being a rookie in general, kind of a positionless type of dude. So I'm not trying to critique him too hard, but what I saw in the preseason with kind of a plan, a variety of moves, more effective hand use, I didn't see carry over to the regular season. It was a lot of bull rushes, which were not effective. He's not a powerful guy. He's got to be able to rush better, more coordinated to create more power on the bull. And now, again, obviously he's preseason, so he's facing backup guards and rookies and young guys, and you get to Sundays and you're facing Wyatt Teller and some really good players. So there's a competition context that has to be considered as well. But really want to see Leal again find. I think good pass rushers only need to have 2 or 3 moves. 2 can do it. I mean, talk about James Harrison. Mentioned him. Dip and rip and the speed bull. That's all he needed. Didn't need anything more than that. Dwight Freeney, had the outside speed edge rush and he had the inside spin. All that guy needed. I'd probably say Leal probably needs a bit more than that, 3 rushes, but have some go-to moves, kind of refine that plan, work his hands better, understand situations of how I should rush. And the last piece of context, and I qualify things because the YouTube comments will yell at me, I also understand that sometimes there are rules in terms of how you rush. Do you have a one-way go, a two-way go? Is there somebody rushing in the gap next to you, so you can't go that gap, so you got a bull rush? There's a lot of context and caveats that come into this. You don't have complete freedom all the time to rush however you want. You're kind of working within the concept of the scheme and the call, and you're facing a mobile quarterback, down distance, all that kind of stuff. But I saw enough here to know that Leal has work to do, as all second-year players do, but really improving the hand use. He should not be just kind of a bull rush, lean on guys. That's not how he's going to win, even with more time, more seasoning. So we'll be watching for that very closely come training camp, and then really once the regular season starts, because I think he'll look good in the summer, but when the games start to count, that's going to be his true test. So video ran a little bit long, still have those Kenny Pickett vibes, I guess, in me right now. Kind of rambled a bit at the end, but wanted to talk through DeMarvin Leal. A little less focus here on where he'll play and really how he should be playing and how he can improve his game. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Had a great outpouring of support from a sub and like and commentary standpoint on that Pickett video. So thank you guys so much. Again, appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you soon.